Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the panel this evening. It's my mate Bridge and my big mucker, Big George Logan. Evening, boys.
How you doing, boys? All right? Good evening.
Oh, don't know. Come on, Bridge.
Couldn't get off mute there. Sorry, guys.
Have you on for your start and your finish in between your rubbish.
How can I just say a big good evening to you two guys? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Fox, if we take that, we could bag him and save on his wages. No comment, he says, Bridge. No comment. How we doing?
Don't blame him, by the way. Don't blame him.
How you doing, Big George?
Hi, I'm all right, Ox. I'm looking forward to the game in Mora. A big, hard game for the Rangers in Mora. Every game's got to be a hard game, but it's one of the ones you'd like to think we're going to win. I think we've got to win to get in the next round, Ox. It's where our club should be going into these next rounds of these games.
I don't see any problem, but you never know, mate. If it was that easy, we'd all be millionaires.
Well, that's it, Ox. That's the thing. I mean, these teams, everybody thinks, again, it's a walk in the park with some of these teams, but they're out there to shock other teams. I mean, I've seen that team tonight. Progress are doing 5-0 in their game, so no game's taken for granted, Ox. Every game's got to be a must-win for us, and we've got the squad today at New Ox. That's the thing. We've got the squad today. I think we showed that on Saturday. I think we played really well on Saturday.
Bridgeman, I don't see any problem, but I'll tell you what, I quite fancy the old boat they're living on, eh? Did you see it?
I saw this. Like, I don't know how true it is, so I've got no idea. I'm sure I saw something like a yacht hotel, and I don't know whether that yacht is the hotel or in fact somebody's put a dummy photo in or something like that. But my goodness, it looks a bee's knees, that one, doesn't it? And Gibraltar's such a beautiful wee place. It's just lovely place, man.
Aye. I wouldn't be going 8 if I was staying there.
No, absolutely not. I quite like one of the loveliest places I was in, believe it or not, there's Michael Caves. Fantastic place, absolutely superb, really lovely. But very, very. I was fascinated with the whole thing. Been there a few times, Gibraltar. Very nice.
I messaged Stevie G, George, just to see if he'll bring back some of the boys some fags for Gibraltar.
Yeah, they'll probably do it for you. I saw these big interviews you're getting all these stars and that. Man, I think Stephen Gerrard will be the next one when the cares for an interview if you can fit him in anywhere.
You know what it's like. You know what I mean?
That was another great interview last night with Yorks. Big Dave McPherson came across an absolute gentleman. I'm no shocked, but I'm more shocked if you know what I mean. 2 caps whilst his time at Rangers. And you said last night what a Rangers team played in that 92-93 team, and they only got 2 caps. Tells you a story on its own for me, Ox.
Well, if you think about it, he was on the right, Davy Robertson was on the left, John Brown was supporting Gough. They hardly had a cap between them at that time. Yeah,
John Brown,
one of the best defence in Europe.
Aye, that's right, Ox. I mean, when you think about that, and John Brown also not having getting a cap for Scotland as well, no. And what a player he was for us. Big Dave McPherson, I heard them talking about underrated players last night. Big Dave McPherson was an underrated player as well, Ox, when he played for the Hearts and when he played for Rangers, and then obviously Walter Smith brought him back. But another great interview. I mean, you've done some good interviews, but Big Dave came across last night as an absolute gentleman. The way you expect Rangers guys to come across, Ox. I mean, I've met some Rangers players in my time and things like that, and some of them, they let you doing a wee bit with the way they conduct themselves, but the big man was excellent last night, Ox.
Yeah, I've got to say, what a nice guy, and a passion for our club shone through the whole time before and after, before we spoke, and after I've had a couple of messages. So, fantastic. Thanks to Dave. What a guy, what a career, and it was good him coming on, Bridge, yeah?
Yeah, I think it was excellent, and I'll echo what George was saying there. A tremendous interview, thoroughly enjoyable, very entertaining, quiet-spoken guy, comes across really well. Obviously a true gent and a real Ranger,
Yeah, right. So we're building up in tomorrow night, and we're not far away for the weekend either, George. But you've not been on, so we've not really had your thoughts, the talking points for last week, and Big George, performance, talking points, tackles, referees, compliance officers. The floor's yours.
Well, we had it all. We had it all this weekend. I'll go with the positives first, because it was the game did have absolutely everything for it. But for me, the result was a great result. Good goals. I think we're starting to see people linking up now. I think that's what maybe was missing a wee bit. Kent and Aribo maybe need to get closer together, doing a wee bit of work together. Certain players in the park are now doing it, and I thought we looked excellent the other day, the Rocks. Our defence is looking brilliant. Big Hollander. For a guy that wasn't supposed to be playing, I thought he was. Everybody saying Steve Davis and Bridgman last night saying Scotty Arfield for man of the match. You can't argue any of these boys. Ryan Kent, my mate was saying Ryan Kent's came right on to a game. But Big Hollander for me, Ox, just looked like the defender Bridgman been going on about, hushing the ball out, playing the boys out of the park, tackling when he had to tackle, no feet to tackle. I think it was a great performance right over the park. And then I think you said the other night there, somebody goes off and you bring Alfredo Morelos on, and it actually makes the team stronger. No offence to the boy Barker, but it makes the team stronger. And I thought a few weeks ago maybe Alfredo maybe be away. If we can hold on to Alfredo now, that'll be a big thorn on our side, because I think people fear him, and if he can start to play the kind of game that we can play, he's got to be a major asset for us. So I hope we can keep him. But overall on Saturday, I think we were absolutely excellent. I'm looking at the score there. I think we were really, really good. Played some really good football, nice touches. Ryan Kent's goal was a cracker of a goal as well. A few good touches for Aribo. And yet again, Steve Davis. I mean, I keep on thinking Steve Davis is maybe at the point.
You mean Hadji?
Hadji, sorry. I thought about Steve Davis as well. Steve Davis is absolutely excellent for us. Again, Ox. So we're really looking to start looking like a right good team, Ox.
I enjoyed the performance, mate. I thought it was a lot of positive. You're right. And obviously 4-0 actually flattered Dundee United, if I'm being honest, mate.
It did, Ox. It really did. I think we should have been on and got more. I mean, it could have been 6 or 7, but it's not as if one of the games where you're saying, we're expecting more. We should have got more. We looked like a better team over the park. And heard all you boys talking the night before, and you were talking about how we were going to play, and I was like, maybe being a wee bit over the top here, but no, we were out there and we were absolutely excellent. And that's all the positives for me. That's everything. And looking at the challenge and me Alfredo, I seen a thing today, Ox, and it was the tackle with Ryan Jack when he kicked in the face last season. Alfredo Morelos is one, and the one with Andy Halliday put his hand up to the fans, and only one of them got a red card. That was Andy Halliday. That goes to tell you something about Scottish football.
Aye, Church. I think that's a great example. Two of the careers could have damaged. 2 of the tackles could have damaged people permanently. Could have ended careers, and one of them was waving his horn at fresh air. You're right, mate. Good example, Bridge.
100%. I said a lot of it last night. That I'm not keen at all on the way Monday night. I said a lot of it then. I'm not keen on the way Rangers players are being treated on the pitch by the referees and the other officials. I think it's really bad. And there's what you said there about the really dangerous tackles could be career-endangering tackles. These guys are like, I don't know, they're like, I really can't even, I don't even know the other words to say. They're just terrible, terrible footballers at times. And there's just, it might be mistakes, it might be a wee mistake, but the truth is, if you take in the dislike / jealousy / hatred of Rangers and mix all that together, you're a big compound or explosion. And he saw what happened. Everybody saw it dead clear. I can't understand why 3 referees, no matter what their persuasions are, couldn't see that was a straight leg to above the knee. Unbelievable.
As I said for Saturday, I only that boy will know if he meant it. But it doesn't matter to me, George. It's a straight red card.
But the intent here, Ox, it doesn't matter if he meant it, if he's no, or people are saying he was watching the ball and things like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a yellow card at the very least, indefinitely. It's a red card, Ox. Let's be honest about it. How they can turn around and say there's no action going to be taken. But see, to be honest, Ox, that will not affect us, because at the end of the day, our guy's been took off. if that boy did get suspended for a few games, it's not going to affect your game. That's bygone anyway. For me, Ox, but it just sets a precedence now, because now what's going to happen is, let's see the next tackle that goes in and see what's happening, because it was just a wee cut in the leg after all, and let's be honest, we're lucky it was only a wee cut in the leg. Next time it maybe not just be a wee cut in the leg. And the same with Ryan Jack, when Ryan Jack got kicked in the face, I couldn't even lift my leg that high to kick a boy in the face when he kicked Ryan Jack in the face. It wasn't even just a kick, I mean, he actually volleyed him in the face. And the exact same thing happened. And we're talking about Andy Halliday. Andy Halliday annoyed a couple of fans by putting his hand in there and got a red card for Ox. But for me, Saturday, definitely a red card. And I don't know how they can come round and say no action's got to be taken against the guy.
Yeah, great examples, George. Great examples. And you agree with a lot of people. Stephen Davis, man of the match, George.
Well, for me, I can't take it away from him. But like Bridgman said, I thought Arfield was excellent when he turned it on as well, and I thought Ryan Kent was excellent. But I like a big defender. I like watching defenders defending as much as I like strikers scoring goals. I can't you didn't win goals with, he didn't win games with defending. But Big Hollander's looking like a right good player for us, New York. So let's just keep all these guys, get them back in the team, get them fit. Balogun, and you were mentioning it last night, Big George Edmondson. We've got 5 centre halves at the club, the New Yorks, that you could probably put in any position and say, Ken, son, you're going to do a job for us in that back line. So I'm quite happy with the defence and midfield. We've got a really good makings of a good squad for me, Knox. I think we can go forward with this. I still think there'll be additions, but we're starting to look like a team. We had individual good players, Kent and Aribo and things like that, but I think we're actually starting to gel as a bit of a team now, Knox.
Yeah, right.
A lot of truth in that. A lot of truth in that is wise words. I think that's what you're starting to see. I believe sincerely you're starting to see that, and how steady our central defensive pairing are. And I think Goldson's been a shining light this whole of this season. Absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding so far. Absolutely.
Most consistent player. To be honest, you've got
and it turned out to be quite a leader on the pitch by the look of things, and the way his arm movement and all that, where he's telling them what to do here, go there. Obviously, he still gets a couple of wee things where he maybe fall over the ball, but not so many this time. It's really good because you've got goalkeepers playing well, and even when he missed a couple like he did at the weekend there, we had the luck of the goal posts, or a defender kicking out for a corner or a throw-in. Yeah, I think they're doing very well. I don't want to ride our luck too much. I just want to be able to go to Gibraltar and beat this mob.
All right.
Through the next round.
All right, so what we'll do, George, we'll hear from our manager, Stephen Gerrard, MBE, in his press conference, and then have a chat and open the phone line. Sound like a plan, George?
Good man, Ox. Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, get yourselves on mute, and we'll hear from our manager, Stephen Gerrard, MBE. Remember the facts, Stephen.
Just a quick update with the regular forward, obviously travel. Is he okay to start tomorrow night?
Yeah, we'll make that decision when we need to. But in terms of his fitness, he is available. He's trained fully with the group. Trained with the physio yesterday just to clear a few things and just to test it out. And I've just spoke to him after training, so he's fine and available.
Were you surprised to see that Monday night he's probably having no case to answer?
It's not important, to be honest. I've moved on. We've moved on from that. We don't make them decisions. We can't control them. Not really worth making headlines now. It's done and dusted. The decision's being made. All our focus is on trying to qualify into the next round, and that's why I'm here.
You've been here before, obviously. That's been last year. So the stadium and the surroundings are familiar to you.
Yeah. Listen, beautiful surroundings. Very unique stadium. But no excuses for us in terms of the size of the stadium or playing on AstroTurf. It's something that we should be accustomed to now because we obviously have quite a few domestically. We're here to do a job. We're here to be professional. I want the players to really show strong mentality. We've had 2 excellent runs in this competition over the last 2 years. You have to come to places like this in the qualifying and do a professional job. Get over the line and get in the next round. That's what we're here for.
I guess when you see what this team did 4 years ago, it's more enough players.
Yeah, I think there's enough experience in my squad now to realise if we think we can just come here and turn up and not approach it right or show the right attitude and mentality and try and drop our standards, the game will be complicated. If we come here and continue to what we've done since the beginning of the season, which is to show real hunger and desire to get results, be defensively strong and organised and carry a threat, I'm confident we can get the job done. But in no way, shape or form are we going to disrespect the opponent, because I've been around the game long enough. If you drop your standards or drop your guard, it can become complicated.
Practice one leg as well, there's no room for that off leg, is there?
No, not at all. Not in competitions like this. I'm sure their players are really looking forward to this game. It's a fantastic shop window for them, being on the TV, playing against Rangers. I'm sure they're going to go into the game with cup final mentality. The least we have to do is to match their desire and their hunger for the game before the ball's kicked. So that's what I'll be all over the players for from now to kick off.
Just wondering about injuries. Are you any clearer on Ryan Jack and how long
Jacko will be missing for a few weeks at least. I think with Jacko we have to just basically take it day by day, but we have had confirmation that he's got a calf problem, so he'll certainly be missing in the short term. It's difficult to put on whether it'll be 2, 3, 4 weeks at the moment, but he'll certainly miss a couple of weeks. Brandon Barker as well, similar in terms of his scan, obviously a different muscle in the hamstring, but he'll be missing in the short term as well.
Can I ask you about Hadji? Did you feel it was back to some of his best at the weekend?
Yes, but I think we also seen a real strong performance from Hamilton as well. He got the goal. I think that's done the world of good for his individual confidence. He carried the threat to Hamilton. Should have got a brace really in that game. So I was really pleased with him the week before. Different players take different time to get up to speed, but he's certainly looking close to what we've seen at the back end of the season before the COVID kicked in, which is great to see, because when he's at his best, he's certainly a big help to the team and the squad.
And he thrives on Europe, doesn't he? That night in Braga, he seems to really relish European competition.
Yeah, he does, but if that's the only thing he's going to thrive on, I won't be happy. I want him to thrive on every game. I want him to be consistent. I think when you're a young player and you're growing and you're evolving, I think one thing you've got to strive for in your game is consistency. If you want to be known and you want to keep growing on and off the pitch, you have to find consistency in your game, and that's going to be Yannis's biggest challenge. At a club like Rangers is perfect for him, because the supporters, the staff and everyone connected with the club will demand that from him, and that's what he wants. The kid doesn't want an easy ride. He wants to continue to be challenged and tested and pushed, and he's got that from me, don't worry about that.
You've been linked here with Daniel Johnson, any update on that?
No, and I won't mention any of the targets that we're pursuing. I don't think that's right or respectful, so I won't be mentioning any names in here today, but again, I'll say that we are looking to add to the squad.
Any questions from Gibraltar again?
Yeah, Stephen Robinson from GDC. These sort of David the Goliath affairs, you've been a player now, a coach. How do you guard against complacency? What do you say to the players? How do you approach a game of this nature?
Well, I think first and foremost, before the ball's kicked, you've got to respect your opponent. I think it becomes complicated if you lack respect and you think you can just turn up and because we're Rangers, we're going to win the game. Football doesn't work like that. I think we've got to match the effort, the commitment, the desire and the application that's going to come against us. And then hopefully the quality players that we've got will end up getting us over the line. But the messages and the key messages of the players is keep your standards high, because from the beginning of the season all the way through pre-season and the games we've played so far, I've been really pleased with the level the players have shown.
I think you just alluded to it earlier, but of course 4 years ago, the last time Lincoln welcomed a club from Glasgow, a little bit of history was made. Of course they turned it over in the second leg. This time a one-off tie, absolutely no margin for error.
No, not at all. And in football, as I say, if you drop your guard and you don't bring your A game or your standards that you work on every single day, if you drop them, the game can become complicated. 4 years ago, they got an incredible result. But it happens in football around the world. In any competition, if you don't match your opponent with the necessary standards, then of course you can have problems. I'd like to think I know my players well enough that they'll approach it right, but we'll have to wait and see.
Adam Roberts, Football Gibraltar. Last season we were talking about Rangers going against St Joseph's. Now we're talking about Lincoln into the biggest club injured brought into the team? Obviously, got preparation into the game. Have you seen many differences from last season to now?
In terms of the standard, quite similar. Obviously, don't want to disrespect either club who's bigger or who's better. But I think up until a certain point in the game, St Joseph's were a difficult opponent. They were organised, difficult to beat. And I'm sure we're going to face a very similar test. So, it's a game we're looking forward to. For me, sitting here now, it's about what my team are going to bring rather than focusing too much on the opponents. We'll come here with respect, but we're coming here to do a professional job, and that's what I'm looking for from my players.
Any questions for John, please?
John, how proud are you to have played a part in making history with breaking that record that you became your clean sheets?
Of course, very proud to have got that opportunity to get a run in the team and to be a part of a little piece of history for the club and within the league is always fantastic for those sort of little milestones as players and as a group collectively as a whole team, staff, club. It's something to take confidence from. We know it's only a small step or a small milestone in the bigger picture of what we're trying to do, but it's a great start. It's exactly what we wanted, to hit the ground running in this league campaign. So we take a lot of positives from that, and for me personally, it's been great to be involved in that.
I suppose tomorrow night was people would expect you to keep a clean sheet. You expected to concede, but as the manager said, it's all about not being complacent.
Yeah, again, that's going to be the full focus for the team, is to continue building on that foundation that we've built in every game. And as the gaffer said, whoever's selected to put in that same performance and have that same mentality, respect the opponent, respect what they could do to you in an attacking sense, and make sure that defensively we're fully switched on, get that clean sheet and give the lads that full opportunity over the 90 minutes to get the job done however they need to do it.
You had a similar run at Hearts, is that right? From other clean sheets, can you tell us about that, similarities?
Yeah, we were fortunate at Hearts to go on the same run. We managed to do 8 in a row in that league campaign with a couple of cup games in there as well. Wasn't all in the league, so that was again, as milestones for players and for teams. It's great to be able to do that, achieve those things, and a little piece of history that's always there for you in the club. So that was great as well. Again, we had a very good defensive, set up there, a strong mentality of trying to keep clean sheets and keep it tight at the back. And it's great to see that a club like Rangers, who are so potent going forward, and you would expect to be concentrating far more on the attacking side of things, that we've still got that mentality ingrained in them throughout the whole squad, not just the goalkeeper and the defence, but the way we defend as an entire team right from the front. Suffocating teams at the other end and limiting teams to such few chances is great to be a part of, because of course for a goalkeeper and for the defensive unit, that's our bread and butter, and that's what we really live on. But it's only possible if you've got an 11 and a squad beyond that have got that mentality to want to keep the ball out of the net for a full 90 minutes. Even when we've won games, put it to bed, you're still seeing that drive and that desire now to keep that clean sheet right till the end, which is fantastic.
I'm not sure how accurate it is, but there's talk about a European record being another 2 games and a world record.
Yeah, I mean,
you sort of look at those things.
No, really don't. For us, it's we try and make it, like I said, that mentality every game. Doesn't matter if there's a record on the line or not. If you've conceded the last game, you start again. If you've got a run going, you look to add to it, and you wait for people to come to you afterwards and tell you. That's the main thing. You don't focus on it beforehand. We don't want to be going into games sacrificing victories to get a clean sheet and anything like that. So we prepare the best way we can for the game to go out there and get the win for the team. And the clean sheet hopefully is a byproduct of that. If we put the performance in properly and execute as we should, and then whatever comes from that, it's great when people come to you afterwards and tell you that you've achieved something, that you've got a little place in the history books for the time being. So again, we'll prepare properly. We'll try and get that clean sheet, and if we do that, then we'll see what happens.
How much work done went in during pre-season? Because these things won't happen overnight. You're faced with a new back four. There's obviously been a couple of injuries along the way with Leon dropping out. to gel into such a cohesive unit, as I say, just doesn't happen. How much work went in during pre-season to ensure you had it down on it?
Yeah, lots of work goes in on the training field, the goalkeeping department, the defensive department, the way the team train, and then it just comes from the manager and his staff, the ethos that they've got, and how we have to train and play and prepare day in, day out, and have those standards constantly as high as possible. And that's where it comes from, so that whoever's playing, if it's myself, if it's Al, the defence, if players chop in and out, if there's injuries in the midfield, whoever goes out there, everybody's got that, instilled in them, and they don't have to be told what the expectations are. And only then, if the standards and the expectations are constantly held at that very high level, which the gaffer demands all the time, then it puts you in the best position to be prepared to do that.
And I suppose it probably has gone better than you probably could have envisaged when you joined in the summer.
Yeah, this is exactly what you could dream of. Coming into a massive club like this, a new club, and getting an opportunity so soon, the success that's come from the team, and how you fitted into that is great to make a contribution, to be part of it, to feel part of it. So yeah, from my own personal point of view, it really has been great for me to be able to get such an opportunity so soon.
Thanks for that, Fox, old school boy. You back, lads?
Yes, indeed, pal. Yes, indeed.
Backing up.
Yeah. Stevie G, part stuff, move on. Always professional. Obviously, the media are looking for a headline, George, but he's too clever an operator, eh?
Oh, I never give him any near Ox. That's exactly the way I would want him to respond to something like that, Ox. Because like I said there, we can't change nothing now. We're just lucky that our guys came out the other side and he's maybe got to go in the park for us and more. And we're really, really lucky. And just the way he conducts himself, Ox, is absolutely fantastic. And I think that comes across a lot with our club, the new Ox. Anybody, I heard the sporting director the other day there as well, and the way he conducted himself as well during his interview, it's all positive, the new Ox. And that guy there, the way he talks, he's just a genuine nice gentleman, Ox. And it's good to have him as your manager and talking about our club like that.
And our goalkeeper. And our goalkeeper comes across very well. But, well, if you like, our second choice goalkeeper or whatever way you want to say it, but he comes across as switched on as well. Eh?
Well, I think that's what happens when you come into our club, Ox. And no offence to anybody that's been there the last couple of years. I think when Walter Smith was here and Alex McLeish and Advocate, we had that bit of respect for certain people, and it went away through well. And I think we've actually got that back now because I think we're getting actually taught how to conduct ourselves. And this year, the people are realising how big a club they're actually at. You heard the goalkeeper saying there, coming into a big, massive club like this, and just be pure luck for him, Ox, that Alan McGregor got the injury he did, because he probably wouldn't have got in the team, because Alan McGregor's as good a goalkeeper as anybody. But what a job he's done for us coming in for the start of the season, and what a signing it's been, Ox, when you think about it now.
Free transfer, Josh. Free transfer.
I think he was the best out there that we could possibly get on a free transfer, Ox. There was a few goalkeepers getting spouted about in that, and even a third goalkeeper out on loan at Livingston. But we're doing no bad at there, and we've always been all right over the years with the goalkeepers, Ox. That's one of the things. We've always had good goalkeepers.
Here, right?
Yeah.
Bridgman, when you come, mate.
Yeah, look, the guy speaks wonderful stuff, doesn't he? But one of the things that bothers a lot of Rangers fans, myself included, is that they continuously ask. But for instance, that tackle with Morelos, that's long gone, and they've made a decision, and it's not happening. Why do they want the manager to comment on it? Why would they want to ask a question about that again? Just nonsense. But he dealt with it really, really well, and that's good luck to him. Just keep it going like that. Don't bite them. Don't bite to them. I just can't stand the way these people try to undermine the guy. It's shocking. My opinion. It's only my opinion, of course.
Mm-hmm. All right, so people want to join us. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online. We brought in the call with Fox and Old School Blue. If you phone in, please hang up and we will contact you right back. Obviously, bad news with Ryan Jack, Josh.
I think, Brandon, I mean, the injuries we had at the weekend was horrific, Box, for to have 4 guys going off and injuries we actually had. And Ryan Jack's been, he's been good for us, Ox, so it's sad to see him off the park, and Aribo's off the park as well. So guys are going to have to stand up to the plate, Ox. And last season, possibly the season before and possibly last season, we maybe never had that. If Tav was injured, there was nobody to come in there, so you always knew he was always going to come back in. Ryan Jack maybe have a wee bit of sweat on there, thinking, Ken, I need to get back in this team because those guys are going to come in there. Aribo, Davis, Harfield are going to come in there and actually got to play their part. And as much as we're a nice club, Ox, and a nice team, and I think we all talk nice, and I maybe said it a few weeks ago there, we're maybe a bit nice. One of the best things I've seen on Saturday, Ox, apart from the goals and things like that, I like the fact that we had to take Borna Barisic off, Ox, because he watched his guy getting kicked right in front of him, and it irked him, and he wanted to get in there. And it was the right thing to do to take him off. But I like that bit of aggression. That's us playing as a team, playing as pals now, playing as brothers and things like that. And that's what I think happened instead. And I like that. We need that more in the team where guys have got to stand up for each other. And that was one of the best things for me on Saturday, seeing him actually doing that, Ox.
Here. We've been joined by young Gary. Evening, Gary.
Evening, how you getting on?
All right, your good self?
Aye, fine, man. Nothing new.
Everybody's safe in your world?
Aye. We're still kind of in our restrictions through in Hamilton now, so just basically sticking to the one household now.
Here, mate. Here. It's all right if you get stuck in somebody else's. You get stuck in your own, it's not so good.
Aye. Exactly.
Good point. So how you doing, Gary? You all right?
Aye, well, mate, how you getting on? You okay?
Cool, pal.
George, brilliant points tonight as well.
Hey, Gary, all right, pal?
Aye, good man. You've made some great points tonight so far. Been brilliant.
What's on your mind, Gary? What's on your mind, mate? Get it off your chest.
I was thinking today, it's amazing how well we done in Europe last year, and we never get one bit of praise off the SPFL or the SFA. I'm really surprised that nobody ever came out and says, "That's brilliant, Rangers, like, well done getting that far," or "We wish you best of luck in next year's tournament," or "Thanks for getting the coefficient up." Not even one bit of praise we've had off our own league. I was thinking about it there. I've just never heard anybody come out and say thanks. And by the way, across the board, in a sense, like the top two, they keep the coefficient up. So, but you think your league would actually be grateful that the two teams they go out and perform like that?
Gary, you're going to have to go for a drugs test in the morning.
I just
the
thought
rest of the teams, they're blinded by petty jealousy and hate, mate.
Not even the SPL coming out. I'm talking like the ones on the board, or even like the SFA just coming out at the end of their European campaign there and saying, "Oh, like, it was really good. It was really good to see another Scottish team go that far under like not so much financial restraint, but I mean, let's face it, some of the teams that we were playing against, there's a total gulf in money-wise and league-wise and stuff like that. So for us to do so well last season, I just can't understand. Well, I can understand, but I think it's just shocking. I think our league should be coming out more and promoting our game more and being happy that our teams are doing well.
Can I just cut across you? Somebody's trying to call in. You're calling an old call. Call Rangers Radio when you're brought in. I've got a funny feeling I know who it is, but if you're phoning, don't phone an old call, phone Rangers Radio. Good point, Gary. We never get the credit we deserve for that one because we've played some fabulous teams, Bridgeman.
Yeah, absolutely, pal. The last 2 years, Rangers have been absolutely outstanding in Europe. The results have been tremendous, home and away, and there's hardly a congratulatory comment from any of even any of our opposite opponents. They don't want to recognise us. They don't want to know. And some of them are very jealous, particularly for Aberdeen, for instance. They think they should be the second in the league, that kind of thing. And for the ones at the top of the league, well, Pap took the Champions League twice. The last 3 seasons, Pap took. And I can't believe it. They're getting all the praise. All the interviews. I never have to tell you.
Turn it off then.
No, I'm just saying they're never half a telly. You don't see.
Gary,
let's go and speak to Steven Gerrard. Let's go set up an interview at Ibrox, and we'll go and speak to Steven Gerrard or Hawken Howie. No, nothing.
Gary, you're getting it tight in the lobby. Skipper's done it again. Jeff Shee said you're sticking to the one household in Hamilton. That's wife stopped in Hamilton. Skipper says, I went to a wife swapping party in Hamilton once and I get a cassette player for her.
It's keys in the ball through here.
Oh, what a man that Skipper is. Anyway, a good point, Gary. But George, we're never going to get praise for these other teams or the organisations as it sits at the moment, are we?
Not for a second, Doc's wasting our breath. I mean, I got sent a screenshot of one of the back pages of the paper today, and it was about Rangers going to win this big luxury yacht for the European game, and how other clubs in Scotland are going to be struggling to pay for coronavirus tests and that to play in this Betfair Ed Cup. Well, so I'm not a horrible person, I'm not a twisted person, but all I could say that is good, because 8-9 years ago when it was happening, nobody gave a damn about us, so now it's time for us to start rising to the top again. And I'm not bothered if people want to give us praise. I don't care, Ox. If you're on here giving us praise, I'll listen to that. Or Bridgeman, I'll listen to that. I'm not bothered for 1 second if some guy for the SFA or anybody else comes out and says, well done to Rangers. Because you know what, Ox, it's not even meant anyway. We know what they wanted to do to us all the years ago. So let's go into this game tomorrow, Ox. Let's win this game and let's go marching on again. And like Bridgeman said, we played some good big teams, some quality teams. Porto, I mean, we shouldn't have, with the team we had, shouldn't have bet that Porto team. But we actually played them off the park and deserved the win. Villarreal, and we've come up against some good teams. Even the Polish team we played in the qualifier last year, that was a really hard game. Really positive result for Scottish football, and nobody was really bothered, Docs. The thing is, as long as we bothered weekend, we came from where we're going, Docs. That's the main thing for me.
All right, we've been joined by Linda. Evening, Linda.
Hi, Ox. Hi, everybody. How you all doing?
Good.
Hi, Linda. Nice to hear you.
Hi, Linda.
We've not heard from you, Linda. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been busy, Ox, because I've been preparing for my appearance on Countdown.
Oh, right, okay. You'll be all right with the consonants and the vowels, but I don't know how you're going to go with the numbers section.
I had forgotten about that, and then somebody reminded me about it earlier on, so I thought I would just throw in a wee gag before you did.
Oh, no. You're stuck with that one forever, Linda, I'm afraid.
Oh, I know, for sure.
Yeah, all right, how's things, and everybody's safe in your world?
Yeah, everybody's safe, Ox, just getting on with it and just adhering to all these new restrictions and trying to keep up with everything.
Well, once you've mastered it, let me know, because I can't keep up with it. So what's on your mind, Rangers-wise?
Yeah, I was just listening earlier on and hearing what Gary said about not getting the credit, for our performances, and I just think we're not going to get credit at all until we probably start maybe winning things again. But I know that the European stuff's been really, really good, and it kind of gets you down a wee bit sometimes when you read, some of the reports. Other teams are getting praised to the high heavens and we don't. But I always try and just put that to the side and kind of focus on us,
Well said. Yeah, I think you're right. You're spot on. I'll come right back to you, Linda. I think we've been joined by another Gary. Well, he was there. He'll be back in a second. You're right, and I think Gary's right. It's a good point, but we just have to look after ourselves, Linda.
Yeah, definitely, Ox. And I mean, in terms of tomorrow night, on the face of it, we should win. We've got better players. We've been playing well, but as with the guys have already touched on, George said earlier, it's an away tie. It's a one-off game. It's on the AstroTurf, but that shouldn't really be an excuse because we've played there before. But we just really need to be fully up for it and be totally professional.
Welcome to the EE voicemail. I'm sorry, but the person you've called...
No, George, Linda's right. We win easy. We win easy if we play, George.
Hi, that's it exactly. Oxford. I'm positive about our team now. I can't we've got the injuries at the weekend there, so people are going to be missing out. But it's a squad game, Ox, and I think at the start of the season, I said we had a good 13, 14. There was still a couple to add there. We've got Aribo missing, and Jack's got to be missing, and Barker's got to be missing. But I think we've still got the players in the team to come in there, Ox, and still win the game. but it's this complacency. I'm not ever want to be complacent. I mean, I think we've done it, and we maybe got to be kick up the backside we needed against Livingston Oaks early on in the season, because no game's going to be easy. Let's face it. We're not the most successful team in the world for no reason. People are going to want to come out and take a shot against us. A lot of teams in Scotland just willing to they'll play with 10 men behind the ball, which is absolutely fine. That's the way you want to do it. But it's a one-off game, the more against this team. They can't do that. We've got to go out there and beat this team, and they've got to come out and try and beat us. So we've definitely got the squad and the players to do it, and I really think we can do it. But I'm not going to be complacent in any game for us, Ox, because I think this is a big season for us.
Gary, as far as I'm concerned, we play, we win.
Ox, this is the team that was last in Gibraltar was just like getting better, and now that it's a total, again, more talent in the team, a more settled team that we're going to be putting out there tomorrow. So it can't be anything else but a win. But again, like the manager was saying, they've got to come out. It's going to be their cup final, 1.5 game. So they've got to be trying their hardest. And like the manager says, as long as we match their spirit and ambition, then we should be fine. It'll be a good game I think if we start getting a couple of early goals, I think it'll be a good game to start getting some of the guys back who have been injured. Maybe Defoe a wee chance and stuff like that. Right. Get him a wee run out and that.
I've not looked at it. I wonder how many substitutes you're allowed to use tomorrow. We're back to 3?
Not sure.
I think it's back to 3 the more, Ox, aye.
I'll get Fox. He'll check that out. He'll be getting the rules out as we speak, the old Foxy boy. Linda, how are you setting us up tomorrow? Who's your players you're picking?
Well, in terms of the team, Ox, do you want me to give you my team?
Yeah, go on in, let's hear it.
Right, so I think it'll be McLaughlin in goals, because I think he'll just keep his place. He's been doing well. I don't think he would disrupt the back 5. So Tav, Goldson, Hilander, he was fine when he came in there at the last minute for Balogun. Barisic, I think Borna had a wee bit of a shaky game at the weekend, but I think he'll start. Davis, Kamara, and then it'll be Hadji. I think Arfield will be in there, Kent, and then it'll be Roof up front.
Anybody, any other thoughts? Bridgman?
I was just going to ask if could you tell us what your midfield was again, please?
Yeah, Bridgman, it's Hadji, Arfield, and Kent, with Davis and Kamara behind. Davis and Kamara.
All right, Davis and Kamara. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Cool. I agree with the Davis and Kamara. Definitely agree with Hadji, Arfield, and who was the other one? Kent. And who's up front?
Roof.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to know. Sorry.
All right.
You wouldn't start Morelos then, no?
Possibly not. I think maybe just because he's had the wee injury, they'll maybe see how the game is. Probably because of the Astro as well, Bridge. They might just leave him on the bench.
Good points.
Fox says that there's 5 substitutes tomorrow, and Skipper says that Linda's lining that up a 4-3-4.
All right, guys and girls, how's it going today?
Evening, Gary. How we doing?
No bad, mate. No bad. Can I just say, like, what about that? About the SFA of the day? Now, what happens when somebody does a tackle like that again? Because there's not going to be much people as lucky just to get a wee gash on the knee with tackles like that going on. And if they ken that there's nothing going to happen to it, it's just making their game worse. I mean, Scottish football, it's because that decision's getting broadcast all over the world, and to see that, it's laughable, really. It makes you mad, but for nothing to happen for that's just crazy. And what the other Gary said there, the only thing the papers are saying about us is, they're away on a big yacht. That's what we're up against. But
it's 160.
Handling it a little better.
Gary, it's £160 a night hotel. It's not actually luxurious for top flight footballers. So there's something in nothing, that story. Just touching on your point about the Morelos tackle, I'll let George Logan touch on it and finish it with his example he gave earlier on. George?
Well, I think that's actually a really good example, Ox. The Ryan Jack one last season, if anybody goes back and looks at it when he was kicked in the face, the boy's foot was planted and his other foot was on Ryan Jack's neck and his chin. no action against them. Andy Halliday, after a win, puts his hands up to the fans. He's had abuse for the full 90 minutes and gets red carded in that one on Saturday. And like Gary's saying there, Ox, is that set of precedents now? I mean, because we're really, really lucky where it actually hit Alfredo, and we're really, really lucky that the cup was an outside, Ox. We're awfully lucky. Now, if this happens any other time, and by the way, Ox, if that was the other way about, every single one of us would be turning around and saying, I think your guy's got to be suspended for the weekend, because you know what, Ox? And that Stephen Gerrard did say it. And if that was Alfredo Morelos, that would have been a ban. I don't care what anybody says, that would have been a ban. But the thing is, Ox, we're lucky he only got had to go off, Ox, because I think that was a really bad tackle.
Linda, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as you said, Ox, only the player himself will know if he meant it. But it was a high enough boot for it to endanger an opponent, and he should have been sent off. For me, I don't even know why the referee, he didn't even consult his linesman. Even if he says he didn't see it, he should even have gone over and said, did you see anything? Because he must have seen the gash in Alfie's leg. So if you went over, you would have thought, something's happened here. I've missed it. I'm going to go and consult my linesman. Even if they didn't see anything, then that's fine. They would say that. But he didn't even do that. And that, I just think, I don't usually get involved in referees, because I just think concentrating on our own performances. But he was truly awful.
I'm not even going to go to Bridge, because he's just taking an hard couple of tablets. Right, so we're going to keep away from referees, because I don't want a death live in air. But I'll let Gary have the last word.
I was just going to say about...
No, you, sorry, the other Gary. Sorry, Gary.
You can say GB for me then, if the twos are going to be on the night.
I see what you've done there.
See, I've got my own opinion on it, but see, when you hear the manager speaking about it, that guy must shake his head at Scottish football sometimes, because he's played at the highest game, and they must. I mean, his opinion on it is basically if it was another way about, it would be a red card. So I think that's it. That's all we can really say on it. Nobody's got to gaze anything.
I've got to say, it might not even have been the worst decision in Scottish football if anybody's seen the column penalty incident. Right, Gary, in you come, and then we'll move on.
I was just going to move it on there, actually. I was going to talk about, I heard you talking about the teams would play. I want to see all your new signings coming back from injury and getting a game and that, but I would start with the team that finished the game on Saturday there, only due to the fact that it's a plastic pitch, and I wouldn't like to risk injuring any of them for any longer. I'm not already there. So that's where I stand with that.
So your team would be McLaughlin, Tavernier, Hollander, Big Golson, Bassey, Kamara, Arfield, Stephen Davis with Roof, Morelos and Kent. Oh, not a bad side.
Well, no, Morelos didn't finish the game, did he?
Oh, I forgot about that, aye. Arfield was on for him playing sort of up front, wasn't he? Well, Roof was up front. Arfield. And who else? Oh, Hadji, I forgot Hadji. How could I forget Hadji?
And it's just I wouldn't want to get them any more than picking up niggles or that, just with the pitch, just would have been Arsenal stuff like that.
Hello,
we've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Hello, how you doing?
All right, what's your name, mate?
It's Dougie Bullen from Chorin-by-Sea in West Sussex.
West Sussex? Wow.
Yes, as you can hear, I am from Scotland originally.
It's a big place, whereabouts?
It's a nice seaside town where I live.
No, whereabouts in Scotland?
I was from Aberdeen originally. I've always been a blue nose. Always have and always will be a blue nose.
All right. And how long? How long have you been listening to the show for, Dougie?
Since I found out about it about a month ago, and it's a wonderful show, and I really do love it. Your show.
All right. Okay, mate. West Sussex, nice part of the world. What's on your mind, mate?
I'm hoping that Stevie G
is going to do well this season. I think we're going to go for number 55. I think we need to put that green Devils to the other side of Glasgow to one side, if you know what I mean. And I'm hoping, I'm hoping this is our season. I think he's doing well at his Stevie G. I didn't thought he would, but this season he's proved everybody wrong. And I think if he keeps up what he's doing, he's got the right players now. Don't get me wrong, he's got the right players. And I'm glad he has got the right players.
Well, George Logan, then Linda.
Second?
I agree with everybody saying there, Ox. I mean, the team at Linda said would probably be the team I would go for, Ox, if I'm perfectly honest. But when you think about the other team as well, obviously Arfield on for Morelos them as well. We've got a strong team, Ox, so any one of the two teams. But like you say, if we play tomorrow, we win the game. I'm looking forward to it, Ox, and I think if I was to pick my team right now, I'd go with what Linda picked as well.
I would like to go for El Buffalo. I'll tell you one thing, we've got to keep him. We've got to keep him. It doesn't matter how much money he's worth, but we've got to keep El Buffalo because he is our number one priority. He's been good last season, and I think he's going to do well this season. Okay, he's been distracted and some other clubs are after him, but I think we should keep Buffalo and see how we do at the end of the season.
Linda?
Yeah, I mean, if we can keep Alfie, it's just going to make us even stronger, and we've got really, really great options up front. It'll just depend on what's happening with the finances and whether the club feels that they still maybe would like to get that 20 million in if we get that offer for him. But in terms of going forward, whilst he's still at Rangers, he needs, we know, if he's fit and he's, when he's playing well, we get him in the team, and if he can, produce the form that he produced before the winter break last season, it'll be fantastic for us.
All right, we've also been joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Ox. Evening, folks.
Hi, Blue Star.
Evening.
Hi there.
All right, Bridge. Guys, I was going to bring up another point there, but...
Excuse me. Guys and girls. Blue Star, guys and girls.
What's that all about? When you were talking about the team, I would agree with the female. I would agree with Linda. Start with the team that finished. The only thing I think on that is I'm not so sure that it would all depend on how good he thinks they are. Plus the plastic pitch, as Linda says, I think he might rest a few of them and he might give so-called outsiders a chance, Ox, a day.
What players do you think about bringing in? Who's on your mind? You talking about Big Batsy? Maybe start? Do you think?
Aye, absolutely, mate. Guys that need games, I think that would be the sensible way, especially the likes of him, because he's a big, rough, tough guy. The plastic pitch shouldn't bother guys like that. Whereas so-called nimbler players, yourself, they're more susceptible to injuries,
Has he got potential to be a sort of cult hero, that Big Bassy Blue Star,
I think he has. I'm quite impressed with him, Ox. I'll tell you what, he takes no prisoners, and he's certainly no fear to go on a run, or he's certainly no fear to put in a tackle, So I think he's the kind of Bridgeman's type of player, He's certainly strong enough. He's a strong big guy.
He's too cultured for Bridge.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you one thing. Can I say to you? I think Buffalo, I think he's going to do well this season. I think we're going to win the league through him. This has got to be the season that El Buffalo produces a lot more. And I think his value will run up to 100 million. But I read, can I say something before you go on, guys? I've read somewhere there's somebody in Japan, he's Scottish, Japanese or something like that, he wants to take over a club, and he says that he wants to keep El Buffalo. Is this true, or what is it?
We had rumours of the investment coming in for that part of the world pre-COVID, but it's all went quiet. Listen, Dougie, I know it's your first time on. We'll get a few callers coming in. I want to thank you for coming on, and don't be afraid to call in the future, mate. All right?
All right. I'll listen away.
All right. Cheers. Thanks for the call, mate.
Cheers. Cheers.
I'll sort of spot the support, George. You was just before we go to a tune. Buffalo, 20, 30, whatever the money is, but you stick a twist. It's a big decision, isn't it?
Oh, it's a massive decision, Ox, because a few weeks ago there, Ox, I was saying, you know something, we've got the team in there, and it wouldn't be a big issue if we left him, but he's a big part of us, Ox, and I thought he looked clean, and I listened to Stephen Gerrard's comments the other day there. Ox, he could have sat in the house with his wee baby for the last 2 weeks here, but he was out training every day with the fitness coach and the science coach and things like that, Ox, so I like that. So for me, if we can keep Alfie, and Alfie wants to stay, because there's no point in keeping somebody if he doesn't want to stay, I think he'll be a big part of us winning 55 this year, Ox, because he's always got to have his value, Ox, whether it's the end of this season or the end of next season. But I think he would be a big asset for us this season with Roof and the other big striker. I think we should try and keep him as much as we can, Ox.
Gary, no GB, Gary.
I'm kind of like torn with Morelos. Like, as much as I would miss his goals, and as we said there, he's looked the last couple of weeks. He's done a bit of extra training. He actually looks like he's lost a wee bit of weight, but he's also agreed terms with their club, and that's the doubt. Where the doubt comes in for me, he's obviously wanting to leave, and Rangers are hanging on for the best money they can get. So, as Stephen Gerrard's came out a couple of times and says when he signed the 2 new strikers, he's wanting people who wants to be here at the club. And it's looking like Alfie's no.
All right, only time will tell. Listen, can I ask you to get on mute? And if you're on phones, can you mute them? Well, we have a tune.
Did you show that guy who takes the tablets how to get it off mute?
Rich man, no. Get yourself on mute.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad, times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white from the day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I too had a lad, I would show him the way as he did on that day. And so now here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. When I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. For the day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the jurors, my father and son. And it's sure safe to say at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. But when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad, times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. For the day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.
Well, Bridgeman, do you like that one?
Oh yes, I'm just getting my breath back. Singing away like a linty there. Singing away like a linty with it. Absolutely brilliant. A really good song, that. Really good song. Good choice. Oh, when I was a lad, I was led by the hand. I love it. Just love it.
Are we all back?
Yeah.
Back.
I would take it as a given that there's no chance of Balogun starting, because I think it was precautionary on Saturday. George Logan.
I don't think he travelled, Ox Balogun.
Oh, did he not? Right, okay, that's
I don't think he did, because I've seen the day McGregor and the goalkeeping coach and McLaughlin all kicking the ball about, which is a good sight to see, because I thought when they had McGregor had the wee injury on Saturday, I think it was going to be a longer thing, so it's good to see him back in. And I've seen Alfredo as well, but there was no sign of Balogun being here at all. And let's be honest, folks, like Linda was saying, let's not risk anybody. And I ken a lot of people have got to shout me down when I say this. Most important one for me, Ox, is Sunday. And that's me being perfectly honest, Ox. If we can win the more and we can win Sunday, of course we can. But I want our guys to be fit for this league, because suppose we go to a final this season, Ox, I want to get our league back. And I think that's got to involve the full squad, and we're going to need additions as well. So if the big guys even a week away or a couple of days away, let's not even bother with them no more. We've got the guys there in our defence that can keep us out. And we're talking about the big boy Bassett as well. If we were short, he can go in there at centre back as well, because I heard Andy Halliday talking on Saturday, and the reason we signed him is because we actually watched him in a closed door game last season against Leicester, and that's how we signed the boy, because he was a flying machine and powerhouse and things like that. So I think he's got to be a better player for us as well. So let's not risk guys if we don't need to risk them. And like Linda was saying, if Alfie was even if it was a slight knock at all, it's not a knock, it's a cut off, it's a different thing. You wouldn't risk him either on that part. So just get the guys that's fit to get through that game the more and look forward to Sunday, Ox.
GB, we've got to win tomorrow. It is important for the club. Europe's important to help drive us to where we want to be, winning the league, because we need the finances.
Aye, Ox. I'm actually I think it's a good trip for Rangers. The players have got to get a bit of sun as well. A wee bit of bonding as well, like being away for Glasgow and stuff like that. So I think there'll be a lot of benefits in this game, and much as well you're saying that a few folk will get a run out. I noticed that Jordan Jones was in the 40s as well today, so maybe it's another chance for him to stake a claim again, since Barker's been injured now.
I suppose there's two sides to that coin. Bridgeman, he can either get himself back in the limelight, or he can put himself in the short window if that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, well, I think first of all, I don't know if our manager actually wants to play him, but if he does, then tomorrow night's a really good chance for him. So it's a European game, and he has in the past started very well for us, scoring multiple goals in some games. That's the kind of form we're wanting from him. If the manager wants to sit, the big difficulty here again is that if we play him tomorrow, what is the cup tie situation? Is he cup tied for the whole of the UEFA Cup? Or
Jordan Jones?
Oh, sorry, for God's sake, I'm thinking of Tottenham Morelos. My apologies. No, Jordan Jones. I like Jordan Jones. I'd love to see him playing again. It's on the AstroTurf. and he was well used to it with Kilmarnock. He played some good games there. So no excuses if he gets picked. He'll play well for sure.
GB has a chance to put him in the shot window, yeah?
Aye, and that's it. If it is, that's the case, and it saves us having to risk one of our main players, if you mean that. As much as I want Kent on the park to get us in front, I'd much rather, if I've got players there that can be used first in this kind of game, then I'd rather them on it. I didn't notice if Greg Stewart was in the travelling squad or no, but again, that would be another perfect game for him to get in the team, get a good run out as well.
I'd be right peeved if I never got that trip London with all the duty free.
And the cigarette socks.
And the fuel the prices, man, are unbelievable out
there. Get Bridge a handbag, a man bag. Jordan Jones, any chance of him starting, Wonder?
Not so sure, Ox. I think we all wanted Jordan Jones to do well, and it was a shame when he got the injury, in the Old Firm game when he got sent off. It was a kind of sliding doors moment for him. You just wonder what would have happened if he hadn't got the injury. I don't think he'll start, but maybe, bring him on if we get a couple of goals and we want to, start resting a few players. We'll give him a wee chance and see what he can do.
Ox, can I ask you something on that?
Aye, mate, on you go, mate. Don't make it too hard, but...
No, it's like, why would you spend the money on a plane ticket for a guy like that then if he's not going to be involved? Like, why would you put an expense out for somebody that's not going to really feature for you? Like, you would think it would be more beneficial bringing maybe one of the young boys there or something like that then, if it's going to be that kind of way. But I don't understand that kind of
rationale
thinking.
I get where you're coming from. If he's totally out the picture, he's been in the squad the last couple of games, hasn't he?
Aye.
He's been in the 20, hasn't he, Gary? He's been in the 20, then we'll go to Blue Star. He's been in the 20, but I understand what you're saying, but God, they take nearly two teams with him to every game now, don't they, Gary?
What one?
He's GB tonight and you're Gary.
I would love to see us going a couple of goals up early, and all the like fringe players get in a good maybe 60, 70 minutes. That would be ideal. We're spoiled in here. We've got a big squad. Stevie G's in a tight spot. I think with his team selection, if he changes it too much and we get beat, he's going to take belters. So I think he's just keep my winning team really the now and plodding on. But I would love to see all the squad players getting a game and I can't see that Lincoln Red Imps causing us too much problems, to be honest. They shouldn't, but anything can happen in football. But I think we should win comfortably in the morning, and I'm hoping a good few players get a run out as well. Like, I hope Bagettin gets off the mark.
Can you see him? Can we, Blue Star, can we see us bringing Itten back on the plastic pitch, or would we maybe go on the bench and maybe give him half an hour if we could?
Yeah, maybe a run out near the end of the game or something. No, so on the Jordan Jones ones, I think that's an absolute certainty he'll get a game, simply because the manager knows that he's played all the games on the plastic pitch for Kilmarnock. And number two, catch-22, as you said, he's putting himself in the shop one day too. Whether we would keep him, I'm not so sure, to be honest.
You taking Kent out of the team, Poster?
I think he would be a cert to come off. Ox is the minute we go a goal of that up, I think that's an absolute certainty. There's no way he would want him injured, And as soon as we go a goal or two goals up, if it was pretty quick, I think you'll find that the top guys automatically getting taken off, especially when he's allowed 5 subs. I think that's a gimme. Can I just ask you, Ox? I never heard last night's show. I tried to pick up bits of it today. Can I ask you what you thought of our manager's comments on his phrase when he mentioned we need players. I think that was mega hard to, and I don't think that was his normal kind of outbursts. The very fact he mentioned the board saying, and he never mentioned player, he mentioned players.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was very, very telling, because it stands to reason. The Aribo one, Ox, I'm quite sure you've heard the same stories as myself. It's meant to be a right badging on him. He's out for a long, long period of time. Initially, they're saying 6 weeks, but they think it'll be even longer. So he's a big, big player for us. And that guy that we're after, the Johnson guy, the reports on him are absolutely fantastic. I get the fact that he's 27, but seemingly quite a lot of clubs have looked at the bloke. So it stands to reason. I've said to you for the last couple of years, we need midfielders that can drive forward with the ball and bring players into the game. And I don't think there's any doubt about it. Stevie G's got a list of them there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was very telling when he mentioned players, and it was to the board. I mean, he made it public. So he definitely wants players and no a player.
My understanding is there's potentially a couple of midfielders coming into the club, but you have to wait and see who they are, mate. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation. The boy Johnson looks as if it could be a runner. There's similarities between him and Aribo. We need that type of player to open this low block. And I think what you're seeing, if Davis ran into Arfield or Davis ran into Kamara, and you had to take the two of them off at the moment, we're really short in midfield. And I think the manager's right. That is a place that we need a couple of bodies. Linda?
Yeah, Ox, I think it was what Blue Star was alluding to. I think, was it on Rangers TV? I think he was asked, would the injuries that happened on Saturday accelerate, his wish to bring players in? And then that's when he kind of answered the question. But yeah, I think we're looking really light in midfield, particularly with Jack being out maybe now for a few weeks. So if we can get a couple of players in, hopefully this week, if not next, it would give the squad a real boost again.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come in on that, Ox, yeah?
Yes, of course, bud.
Just to say, I agree with what Linda was saying there. I think it was in that context, because we'll get a number of players injured. Let's say there's 3 players injured, plus you've got to add in Aribo. So you're talking a number of players that are lying injured, and it could be but at a crucial stage of the season, and we've still got a number of weeks before the window closes. I think it was in that context. He said he needs to bring in more players to help out. I think that's really what he was meaning to say.
Ox, my understanding is it would have been different if it wasn't like what we classify as like first team regulars. The fact of the matter is the four that are cropped are all first team regulars. Therefore, it stands to reason. I don't think he's potentially looking at squad players. I think you're talking about guys to push for that number 1 spot. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Number 1, Aribo. We all know that Aribo started on fire. He's missed them. Let's be truthful. I know we've been playing well enough, but he still misses. You miss that kind of talent, and I think that's what he's looking for. He's looking for guys that can go into that first 11. I don't think he's talking about squad players anymore. That's why he kept mentioning for the last 2 seasons he wants 2 top players for every position. And when you've got 3 and 4 players out at the one time with injuries, we can't afford that now. We need guys that can step up to the plate straight away, that have got the ability to come in and do the same job.
George Logan, it's not a bottomless pit. George Logan?
No, it's not a bottomless pit, Ox, but I agree. I think what you're saying there is absolutely bang on. I think we do need another midfielder in. I think 2 midfielders. I mean, people are talking about Jordan Jones. Jordan Jones wasn't in the squad in Saturdogs. I think he's been injured since he played with Northern Ireland. For me, Jordan Jones isn't going to date, Ox. I don't think he fancies Greg Stewart. So there's 2 players. It's good to see Big Eaton back in the squad. He was back in the squad for Saturday. So I think we've probably got 14, possibly 15 guys you could probably rely on. But Steve Davis, know that Steve Davis is a bad player, Ox, but we can't rely on him for the full season. It's just not going to happen. He's at that age now. And I think Arfield's possibly the same. Arfield's at the point of his career now where a couple of times last season it looked like he was wearing wellies. And we can't have that when we're going for the big for to get a league back, Ox. I think if we get 2 more players in and that'll really relax it. If Arfield needs to sit out, or if Davis needs to sit out, we've got guys that can come in and can help out Jack and can help out Kamara and things like that. So I think 2 players, and I don't think he's out there hunting and desperate. I think if the players come up, the right ones come up, we'll probably get them. And I think he's got his eye on the 2 guys he possibly wants.
I'd sign him, George. 2 guys.
2 guys, there you go. Aye. It was normally 1 guy for the Friday, but I think if we get the boy for Preston, in Ox, I think Kamara, Jack, and Davis, they're a completely different player for him. I think one of them would need to step out for us to actually get that boy in there, and I think he'd probably come right into the starting 11 for me. And Blue Star's right. There's no point in bringing in Greg Stewart and guys like that. We need guys who's got to go right into our first team and got to make a contribution as winning the league, Ox.
I think even with GB, before we even had the injuries, we were slightly short in midfield for a season.
Like that boys Dunga was getting touted for ages, and that there was a reason for that we were getting touted for that. It was because that we knew that let's face it, Jack is quite injury prone, so we needed at least a backup for him. And obviously Kamara's always away on his international duty as well, so it's definitely an area in that. I think was it the box-to-box midfielder we were looking for as well. Saying that, by the way, see on Saturday, Morelos was playing that a demon of a role where he was dropping back and getting the ball and charging forward. So he'll be the new midfielder for us, hopefully.
The Buffalo, Fox has been raving about having seen him playing in a free role behind the strikers. He's been going on about that for quite a while. But he really look to see that, particularly when we're playing against that low block Linda then Bridge.
Yeah, I think Alfie's got the ability to drop back and play Ox because he's got a great touch. He holds the ball well, and he really brings other players into the game. You know, I thought Arfield did really well when he came on. I know you were talking about that earlier on. He had tons of energy and he was getting up and down the park as well. So maybe, you know, the wee spell where Arfield wasn't getting to start and he was not getting on as much, maybe that's given him a sort of wee G up, and hopefully he'll hit a bit of form as well.
He's been quite good for us in Europe, Arfield, Bridgeman, eh? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, Bridge. All right, we'll go to Blue Star. Arfield's been quite good for us in Europe for the piece since he's been here.
Well, I suppose he has. You know my feelings on Arfield, Dogs. I'm sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong. Fair's fair. On Saturday there, when he came on, he played a blinder, and maybe Linda's right. Maybe that's the G up he needed because he hasn't been getting games, and he's took quite a lot of flack recently. So I'm not saying the guy's not got ability. He's got ability. He just doesn't do it anywhere near enough for me. But if it means that's him coming back onto a game, then by all means, as long as you're producing the goods when you come on, that's what it's all about.
All right, well, we're not a good place. These qualifiers, we know they've been tricky, but we've got a far, far superior team, Gary, than we ever had when we were trying. We had one of our worst nights in our history a few years ago against Progress. That's all gone. We're a different outfit altogether, mate.
Realistically, we should take that team apart. I actually done a wee bit of checking up on that Lincoln Red Imps. This will be their first game in 20 days. They've only played like 2 games this season. They've won the 2 of them, right enough, but we're a different league for them. Anything can happen in football. As Stephen Gerrard says, we've got to go out there with the right attitude. Hopefully we start where we left off on Saturday and get right in about them. I've said before, we've missed Scott Arfield's energy where he's making the runs into the box. That was the first time this season on Saturday there that we've actually seen that, and he was on fire. But I don't know if his age is getting up with him or no. He'll no last every game this season. So we're probably a couple light in the midfield, but I think we've got enough in Gibraltar to beat that team in the morning. Like, I hope so anyway, but I think we should.
Hopefully we get a couple of other goals in Gibraltar. We go just bang, 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 and the game's done.
Yeah.
Right, George Logan. Right. The five substitutes can work for us now. When we've got these injuries, we can manage the squad better.
Aye, definitely, Ox. That's the thing. I mean, it's a lot of people didn't like it, but there's for example on Saturday, Ox, we had to make a substitute before the game had even kicked off, and then the Barker one went off and Alfie went off. I mean, it was just as well for us. We did have the 5 substitutes, but I agree with what you're saying there, Ox. I don't want to go over the top, but it's a one game. It is one game, and we've got to win the game. So they've got to come out and try and win the game as well. They kind of just sit back. But it's like Blue Star was saying there, let's get the goals in early. Let's get if we're going to play our strongest team, get the goals in early and get our top boys off. Get Ryan Kent off, and if Alfie's playing, get Alfie off, and even give Barisic a wee rest. Whoever you've got to give a wee rest, and look forward to Sunday. And whoever else is coming in there, Ox, whoever else comes in off the bench, you'd expect him to come in and do a job for us, because at the start of the season, I think when we were making all these substitutions, Ox, the tempo of the game was just dropping right down, and that's not down to subs for me, Ox. That's for the guys on the park to keep that tempo up and let the guys get up to speed. I think that's what we've got to do. I think we've got to get in there more, get the goals early and get the boys off and get home with the result and look forward to Sunday.
Who's the players you're wrapping up?
I think I mean Ryan Kent, has came right on it again for me. You can see all the money we spent for him is really shining through now. And I ken what everybody said about Hadji, still to prove it, but I thought Hadji had some nice touches on Saturday. Ox played some good football. I think Hadji's another one, a young lad. You've got to manage him properly. Steve Davis as well. Ox, he's another one you've definitely got to manage properly. And Barisic has had a wee...
Sir Stephen Davis.
Sir Stephen Davis. Aye, you're absolutely right there, Ox. And Barisic as well for me, Ox. I mean, I think he had a wee bit of a knock as well 2 weeks ago there. So there's guys you dare wrap up, and the guys, top team players, top guys that's got to win games for us, you take your market off and look after them. And the guys that come in, you expect them to still do the job for us, Ox.
Mm-hmm. You're getting the caught wheel out, Bridge. Who are you wrapping up?
Who would I wrap up? I think, to be perfectly honest, George is mentioning Ryan Kent there. I don't know if we can do without him. I think he's the one that starts most of the moves. I think him and Hadji's got to play. So there's the ones that I would take a chance and wrap up would be Barisic. I would bring Big Bassie on. This is just me thinking, Mm-hmm. I'd have Bassie on there. I'd certainly have Arfield in. And is it in fit? Is he fit? Is he in the squad?
Aye.
If he's in the squad,
Ayrton's back in the squad. Aye.
Yeah. Well, if he's in the squad,
better we had him didn't bring me back for
well, I think him and Roof would be a good chance to pair they two up as two like if we're going for what is it? We go for sometimes 4-3-1-2.
How many is that, Linda? How many was that?
Oh, I lost count, Ox.
Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. There's only a couple of them that I'd watch out for, but I wouldn't have any fears. As George Logan said a bit earlier, I wouldn't have any fears about any of our guys that are going to come in and play, because what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, they've stepped up to the mark, came in and did the business.
If we get to half an hour to go, we're 3 up, mate. Ryan Kent, Stephen Davis, Hollander or Big Golson for Edmondson, and maybe Patterson getting a game for Tav. You've got to be sensible, Linda.
Yeah, Ox, I would agree with that. I mean, we want the players that are really on form to, first hour, really go out and show our quality and get the early goals, and and then we can start to bring these players on. But somebody like Stephen Davis, who obviously played the 2 international games, didn't he? And then he had the full game on Saturday. You probably would never have thought maybe he would play 4 games in a row like that. But I think Gerrard really trusts him, so he'll definitely be on, I think. And then, as I say, give him a rest, hopefully the last half hour.
Can I just qualify what I was actually saying there, Rox? I wasn't meaning these guys, Ryan Kent and guys like that, Barisic and Steve Davis. I'm not saying wrap them up in cotton wool and no play them. I'm saying get the guys to go out and do it today, like Bridgman says. Get them to go out and start the game off, like Kent does. Turn on what he can do, get us ahead, and then you take them off and wrap them up. Steve Davis.
That's what I thought you meant, George. No problem, mate.
I wouldn't take a chance with just playing guys for the start. They're our main players. I mean, Ryan Kent, you didn't pay that kind of money and then put him on the bench. He comes out and wins games for us.
Blue Star, there's 5 substitutes at the right time. You've got to take advantage of it.
On them, absolutely. And as well, we're not saying there, the very fact we've got a few injuries in the 5 substitutes falling into our hands now. Definitely, our best players, as soon as we're a couple of goals up, you get them off and you bring outsiders in. It was a good point you brought on the one young boy Patterson Ox. That would be a gimme for me. If we go a couple of goals up, give Tav a rest, because one thing about Tav, we know he play. The one thing about him is he's consistent and he plays near enough every single game. Goldson as well. So if you can get these guys off and give them a wee bit of a rest, definitely you use your subs, use them wisely.
Can I just say that it was on Rangers TV at the Dundee United game there. I was saying about Tavernier. He's only missed about 3 or 4 training sessions since he's been at the club. If anybody deserves a wee rest, it's surely him.
He's been phenomenal. He's him and Goldson since he's joined us. The record of games is unbelievable. Tav, 250 games, just over 5 seasons he's been with. There's some amount of games, and then when you looked at his stats, I think that was his 47th goal or something on Saturday. I know there's been a few penalties, but the boys, £250,000 for Wigan. Not bad.
50 games, a minimum of 50 games a season. You can't. Even if he makes mistakes, you can't take that away for the guy. That is incredible.
Mm-hmm. If you're in the team,
he must be a super fit guy. He really must be.
Like myself, Blue Star, he obviously looks after himself, you know.
Definitely.
You know, who was laughing there in the background? Was that you, Gary? GB?
Was I?
I'll get you.
I've heard that you're Hercules, Ox. That's how I've heard.
No Hercules, mate. No, Merlot Samson.
That's the thing with Tav as well. Look, see even games where he's maybe been at fault for a couple of mistakes. As we've said many a time on this show, see when you actually take in his stats are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they're not just great, they're absolutely phenomenal. For the games that the guy's played, the minutes that he's on the park, he contributes to everything. He really does.
And there was a guy on the show last night that maybe never get the credit when he was with Rangers, and obviously he was winning medals and arguably a better team. But I think when Tab decides to leave, we might appreciate him more when he's not there.
Yeah, I think so, Ox. And even, remember that the few games that he was out, was it last season, we did actually miss him, right back. And I think you're right, we won't actually probably appreciate him until he's away. But his assists as well is phenomenal. And unfortunately, sometimes when Tav has made a mistake, he's been quite unfortunate in that it's actually cost us quite big at times. Players make mistakes, but his seem to be quite costly, and I think that's what some of the Rangers fans, we always remember that.
We're a tough crowd.
Can I come in on it, Ox? Yeah.
Yes, Bridget.
Just going to say that we need to remember that Tavernier is club captain, so I doubt very much the manager will drop him for the European games. I think he's going to be in there. It might be one of these ones he starts, he gets a half, and he comes off, whatever, But I think it's too important for the manager to be dropped. I doubt it very much he'll drop him, but you never know.
If I'm being honest, George Logan, we should be able to play anybody in my squad tomorrow, and we shouldn't have any problem.
Aye, that's right, Ox. I totally agree with that. Of course, we have. I mean, we've brought up a good team, a good squad, individual players that can actually go out there and win games for us. But I just keep on saying, and I keep going back to that game, the Livingston one, the kick up the bum and go. I'm not taking any chances with any games. I want to win every game. But whilst we're on the Tav thing, Ox, I mean, some people are quite quick to come on and have a go. Not so much on here, but on social media, another radio station thing like that. They come on and they have a bit of a go at our captain Tav. And you think we paid £220,000 for him, Ox. 4 years ago, he's played 250 games. He's nearly scored 50 goals for us. And that whole time, he's either been on the bench or been suspended for 17 games, Ox, in 4 years. I mean, that's some gone for a guy that a lot of people would sometimes take out the team, Ox. So for where it's due, we've got to give the guy respect and where he came from and what he's actually done for us. The 4 years he's actually been here, Ox. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but he's your captain, and I like the guy, to be honest, Ox. I think he's a good right back.
Mm-hmm. There's only one guy that matters, Gary. That's the manager, and the manager picks him every week.
Definitely. Just another thing on Tavernier, the way the team's set up now, it actually favours Tav. Tav's better going forward. He's a good defender, Terry, but he's better going forward there, and he's basically got a licence to go forward now with the way that Kamara or Jack usually just sit in. So that suits him.
2 goals in the last 2 league games. No bad God.
He's been the furthest, the closest to the opposition goal. Very near every cross that goes in the last couple of games. Fair play to him, like.
Ox, not just in our league. I'll bet I'd take MD on a bet. I guarantee you, gone with the games that he's played in the last 4 years and on his stats, I'll tell you, I don't think you'll get many in Britain that would have as good a stats as him. I think Fox is bang on when he's talking about Tav. We all know Fox, how good he thinks he is. But you've got to be fair to the guy. For consistency, his record speaks for itself. It really does.
Fox will be a wee crone. He'll be loving this Jay Tavernier section. But you can't take it away for the guy. His stats say it all. He's one of the guys that maybe should protect it off. And we're central defenders. We were gushing about them, and then Big Balogun goes and gets hopefully it's a minor injury. So are we accepting it's going to be a ladder? Does anybody think there's a chance that Edmondson could start tomorrow? George Logan.
No for me, Ox. No for me. I think, and by the way, Big Golson last season wasn't always my greatest cup of tea, but I think he's been one of the most consistent this season. Big Hollander came in and set the Ox and was absolutely brilliant. I said that at the end of the start of the show, sorry. I like watching people scoring goals, but a right good defender, like we've had over the past, Big Carlos and things. I love watching boys defending, showing their strengths and things like that. So I think your back four is definitely where you go. I mean, the boy Bassett came on and done well, but for me, you keep that back four, keep the same back five, Ox, and that's you settled at the back. And I think Steven Gerrard will do that until Balogun's. I think Balogun's probably his favourite now, if I'm perfectly honest, because I like the big guy as well. But right now, nobody's done anything wrong to put anybody else in, Ox.
Mm-hmm. Anybody thinking that Edmondson's got a chance?
I think
on you go, Gary. On you go, Gary.
I think the only chance he's got is if we're 2 or 3 up at half time. To be fair, I think he'll go for consistency at the back.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the manager. He's seen them training all week. I hope he does. I hope some of the squad players take a game, but I can't see him changing the back line. To be honest, like.
All right, GB.
It's just the consistency, and it's a stick or twist. Some you're talking about Tav and Golson and that, and maybe these types of players are better getting played all the time, so that they keep up their high standards. Sometimes probably if you pull them out, then it's like kind of hitting the reset button for them. So I think he'll still stick with the back four. Maybe No, not even that. I think he will start with Barris. It's just purely because of how well they're doing at the back. I think they've got their own wee kind of team going on with the clean sheet kind of thing. So he'll probably, like it says, he'll run with them until we get a couple of goals up, and then he'll start hopefully seeing some changes.
Oh, looking forward to it. For me, maybe no picked it up. It's a 4 o'clock kick-off tomorrow. 4 o'clock. Everybody got a note of that?
Yep, I'm off tomorrow, so.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're just going to carry the show right through and have the pre-match. Since it's an early kick-off in Europe, we'll just keep going.
It's a walk-in.
I think
is that game available on the season tickets in Oaks? No,
as far as I know. Premier Sports, George. Premier Sports. Yes.
No, that's fine. Aye.
Premier Sports. Not that I would get it for anywhere illegal or anything like that, but Premier Sports for me. Fox, you've got an announcement on tomorrow night's show, I believe, Mr. Fox, and become.
Yes, it'll just be the normal timing of the show. I think it's a wee bit too early today, a post-match and a pre-match show, so it'll be 8 o'clock tomorrow night as per normal.
Right,
I'm going to go back to talking about Tav, mate. I'm in my glory.
I'm just going to let everybody know we can't have a pre-match show during the week at that time, 3 o'clock, because that's when Bridge has his nap. Right, I knew he'd be loving the Tav stuff. I knew he'd be loving it. Right, does anybody see any danger tomorrow? I don't. I just think it's going to be a nice. It'll be 2 or 3, maybe even 4-0 for me. Hopefully, keep the record going with a clean sheet and move on. George Logan.
No, I don't. I believe in our squad, believe in our team, Ox, and I think we can go and date tomorrow. I think the one leg thing maybe helps us out a bit, Ox, if I'm perfectly honest, because, like I say, the team's got to come out and try and play. And I think, like you always say, Ox, if we play, we win. And the guys in our team, our big game winners, whether Alfie starts or comes on, he's a winner. Ryan Kent and Barisic. So for me, I didn't see any problems in more Ox. I want to get the game on done out in the next round.
Mm-hmm. Blue Star, I know you like one leg because the last time we were out, you were on one leg. But are you enjoying the sort of knockout ties in Europe? Or you not paid a lot of attention because it's just coming into your club?
It's at the moment it's all right, Ox. It's like everything else. And once you get to the later rounds, it can be a bit dodgy. But if your attitude's right, you're used to the home and away, to be honest. But they're probably more exciting because you know the game's got to be won. But the likes of tomorrow night, oh no, I'm with you. Listen, that should be minimum 3 goals. It shouldn't matter who we put out tomorrow night. The only thing that's tricky for us, I don't care what MD says, we always seem to struggle a bit on plastic pitches. And it doesn't matter who we're against, but really it should be a case of how many goals we get. And if we get an early goal, it'll be all over. Really, really quick.
The plastic pitches, I know they're all slightly different, but Linda, we should be used to them now. We're playing them enough.
Yeah, Ox, and obviously because we played there last year with the St Joseph's match, we're used to the pitch and we're used to the surroundings. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but it looks actually better than the pitches here in terms of the condition of it, but I'm not so sure.
Your carpet's better than the pitches we play on.
Definitely. But we shouldn't have any issues as long as we've got the right attitude, and they'll be up for the game. They'll think that they've maybe got a wee chance because it's a one-off tie as well. But as long as we show the right attitude, I don't think we'll have any problems.
Bridgeman, Linda's spot on it. These tricky ties are a bit attitude there.
Well, yeah, shall we say, not that long ago we found out how it was much a tricky tie it was going to Livingston and couldn't get a goal. So we need to watch out what we're doing and be. Everybody's been very positive tonight and all agree that we need to score goals. And the team that we've got are up to now anyway have been scoring quite a lot of goals. So I'm happy and confident that probably wouldn't matter too much who we put in from our large squad. They would probably be able to do a job for us against a team like that. However, we need to watch it. We need to be very careful what we're doing and saying. And as the manager says, we need to the team need to be at their best professional levels to be able to make sure we go in there, because this means a lot to us. This game means a lot to us getting through. It's another part of the European theatre for us, and we need to get through this. And from a European perspective, we need to get through the next two games, tomorrow night and the following one. Get in there, Rangers.
Right. Right, well, just look at my stuff. Okay,
what do you reckon for the team tomorrow night? Do you think we'll go with the same team as in
I think
what we're saying about?
I think Stevie G's the kind of manager who would rather win the game and make changes rather than gamble. I think you could get Edmondson started if maybe Big Hollander needed a rest. I think that Kamara will start, Arfield will start, Davis will start, Hadji will start, maybe Kent, and it depends if it's in how fit he is. Roof, I don't know, because I don't know what he's getting just back to 100% fitness, but I'd like to see him, and it'd be good if he could get a couple of goals just to start building up his confidence. But I think Stevie G's the type, George, that will plan to win the game and then make the changes rather than make 5 changes and maybe have egg on his face. That's the way I see it.
That's right. That's what I was thinking. Aye.
You know, but not that it should matter, Linda. We should be able to play with reserves, and we should be able to beat this mob. Well, we're going to be honest.
Yeah, I think so, Ox, because we should just be far too strong for them. And we've started the season really well, and we've got some players who are really, really on the top of their game just now, you know. And as we've said, if we can get some of these fringe players on, you know, when the game's won, then, you know, even better. But I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow. I'm enjoying watching Rangers play. We're playing some terrific football, scoring some great goals, albeit we probably think we should have had a few more in the for column. But yeah, I just think they're playing really well just now, and you're looking forward to actually watching them play.
Is that going to be a big decision for you tomorrow, Linda?
What's that?
Well, 4 o'clock, it'll clash with Countdown.
I've got my bottle of Prosecco sitting waiting for me, Ox.
Sounds all right to me. That's the way to do it.
It's not a 4 million ball, I hope not.
It was more than that.
You're not going to be anything on here, Linda, do you?
No, definitely not. Ox.
Nothing. Right. What's the score going to be tomorrow night, Linda? And then we'll go to Blue Star.
I'm going to go for a 5-0. I think somebody's due to get, 5 in terms of beating somebody, well. I know we had 4 at the weekend, but I'm going to go for 5.
Blue Star.
I'll go for 4. I probably would have went for 5 or 6, but I've got to be honest, dogs. I think we're missing an awful lot of chances, but maybe against that mob, maybe it'll all click. Can I just say, see the game on Saturday there, because we had as many injuries. The most pleasing thing for me, Ox, was the players that did come in. You thought maybe the tempo and that might have been disrupted, and the style of the team might have got disrupted. It didn't at all. If anything, I think we tried that bit even harder. So that was real pleasing for me, because we know in the past that would have upset us a bit, and it certainly didn't. The players that came back on all played their part. But tomorrow night, it really should be far more than 3 anyway, definitely.
All right, Bridge, I've got you doing for a 1-0. Are you all right?
Yeah, please keep it like that. And I agree with all the guys, and of course, that I think it's going to be high scoring for Rangers. I hope that they hope they score 4, 5, 6, whatever, as many as they can. There's the confidence of all the good. Let's them go down there, come back with a really good victory, and they're through to the next round in Europe. Magic. Go for it, boys.
Gary, how do you see it going, mate?
Well, I'm hoping that the Red Imps is going to come out and try and win the game, and I think they will take them apart. It could be 5 or 6, but if they sit back, I think we just struggle. Well, we have been struggling when we try to get through like 11 men in their own box. But if that happens, it's probably only going to be 1-0.
It's not on here, a Bridgeman. Turn out the countdown, Wanda. GB, how's it gone for you?
I think it'll be a steady professional performance and a 3-0, like a second gear 3-0 for them tomorrow. With players, umpteen players probably getting used off the bench.
Can I just say that team hasn't conceded a goal this season yet either?
All right, okay, so something's got to give then, Gary, unless it goes to the
somebody's going to lose their record tomorrow.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be them, isn't it?
Oh, it should be. Definitely.
Aye.
And Defoe's back as well, so...
we've not really mentioned him. Anybody think he's got a chance at maybe every 20 minutes for his substitutes?
Definitely.
Aye.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Aye. Georgie Logan?
Nah, not for me again, Ox. He's been injured for too long on a plastic pitch. You just, like I said earlier, you keep him for when we're going to need him. When the big boy Eaton's just came back, I think he'd be all right to come on off the bench. We've got Alfie. I think we're covered up front. The Mora. I think if we score 3 goals or more and then concede, it'll be a great result for us, Ox. I'll take a Bridgeman all day, but being realistic about it, I think we can score 3 and let's keep it clean sheet at the back as well, Ox.
All right, so I'm going to take 2 per half. How many is that, Linda?
Just about 4, Ox.
That'll do me. I'll go for the 4. So I don't see any problems. We shouldn't have any problems. And then we were on to a slightly tricky game on Sunday. Historically, before we start talking about that, Bridgeman, we've got to get them on a night out of the way.
Yeah, forgive me, guys. I'm a one-game person. I like to say the next game's the most important, biggest game of our season for sure, and we need to win it. And we can't look at. I can't allow myself to look forward and start talking in any way, shape, or form about Hibs at the next game or whomever it may be. I just want to see my team going out there. Very important game, the most important game. Play it, go out there and do it and win. That's all I want. Come on, Rangers! I'm getting battle fever on.
Oh dear. It takes awful serious, doesn't it? It's only a game. Who would be on here every night talking on the radio show about a football team? You'd be nuts, GB, wouldn't you?
The team looks happy then, Ox. See the photos of the day. You've got Alfie with a big cheesy on his face again.
They're just back for the duty-free show. That's how they're happy.
On that big expensive yacht, supposedly, yeah.
A big casino yacht, isn't it?
Aye. What do they expect? What's the press honestly expecting? The players are meant to be shown these nice places because they're top of their game. That's the whole reason the tunnel got done up, so that when teams arrive at Ibrox and see the quality round about the place, that they know that they've came to a big club. There's no. I think they expect them to just turn up and stay in a B&B sometimes.
The Airbnbs were all booked, and so was the Ibis. So we had to book that boat.
The Ibis.
Mate, I wouldn't even get worried about the press, mate.
No.
Yeah,
I think we should go for a wee away trip this year, Ox, for our annual Christmas night out, Rangers Radio Christmas night out. I think Bridgeman should put his hand in his pocket. We should all go have a wee trip in the yacht this year for our Christmas night out at Gibraltar. That sounds like a great idea.
Oh,
Bridgeman can play it.
Yes, Linda, bring 2 empty cases with you.
It will be shining bright.
We get all the Christmas shopping done.
Oh, that sounds.
I said to Bridgeman, I want to go somewhere special this year for Christmas. He said, we'll go to the kitchen then, so take it when we'll be going to the big yacht this year.
It's a treasure, mate. Oh, I've never known anybody so tight. Oh.
He's that tight he gets up during the night to see if he's going to stay in his sleep.
Notice he's not answering.
He's a shockers. A shower of shockers, I'll tell you.
He's very generous in other ways, but in your Bridge.
Not sure we want to know that.
If I could find this mute button, I'd switch it off.
Not like that, Blue Star. Not like that. I mean, with his time.
I know.
I'll let Mrs. Bridge comment on that. Right, so nobody sees any problem. Maybe, well, it's no ideal before a big game, but we have in the last couple of years get used to these situations, Gary, with European ties and then coming back and playing on the Sunday.
Aye, and that's why we're trying to build a big squad and get quality for backup in each position. So that's what we've been aiming to do. And a lot of people forget that this is Steven Gerrard's first job, and for what he's done in Europe, and it's phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to another good campaign. And
that was the point that your GB made when he first came on. We have the credit that we deserve. Our runs in Europe have been let's be honest about it. What is that? 8 qualifying ties. None of us thought we were going to get as far as we did we? In the last 2 years. Come on, anybody? GB?
I thought Portland that was going to be what they're doing. Oh, sorry.
That's the thing. And like, see when you see the English press talk about their teams, like they're already saying that they've won the game before they're even across there. So it's just it outstands me that how not even like a good luck seeing that game that we're going back on COVID against the Leverkusen. Like, not even like safe trip, lads, and we wish you all the best. And nothing like that at all. And that's your Scottish team. I mean, that's a Scottish team representing you. That's a team that's bringing money into the league, and you still can't even say well done. I mean, that's just, I don't know.
Oh well.
Baffles me.
About them, mate. We over the last laugh. That right, Linda?
Yeah, definitely, Ox. Definitely.
You know, I'll not get Bridge started. I've kept him away from referees. I'm keeping them away from the media. The night.
Talk about Tav.
No, who does it? No, we're keeping them away from all these subjects. Wouldn't it be fair, George, would it?
No, not this time of night. He's just about ready for his bed. I mean, you've got to let him calm down at this time of night, Oxford, right?
He loves the early start, mate. It gives him an extra hour to count his money.
Oof, that'll take some time.
Ox, do you not think it's good, though, see the way the club is actually set up for Europe, like travelling away and stuff like that, how they look after the players and stuff? I'm not saying we've no looked after the players in the past, but see the whole setup, you know, I think, see, if you're a Rangers player now, you know that you're wanted, if you know what I mean, and there's like that. See, having stuff like that in place and the way the facilities are and stuff like that, it gives the manager an easy way to turn around to the player and say, hold on a minute, like, see if it was the performer or something like that, saying, look, you've got the best of facilities here, you're treated great, you get the best of food and all the rest of it, so there's no excuse for them not to perform, if you know what I mean. So I think that the clubs, even away from signing players, we've invested the money in the right places where it's made any player coming into Rangers probably not even want to leave because they know how good and what the standards are.
As Bob Shankly said to Jimmy Miller, 1966 outside Hampden, son, you're playing for the greatest club in the world.
Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. And it's over to the Bridge man.
Well, what can we say? What a fantastic night. Well done, pal. Really enjoyed it. Great discussions. Well done to everybody. Can I just say, big game tomorrow. Big game. So everybody, so the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, please keep it going for the Rangers. Let's go out and win tomorrow. Mollocate them. Keep it going.
Can I thank the two Garys, Blue Star, Linda, Dougie, who joined us for the first time, Foxford popped in, of course, Old School Blue for the technicals, the background. and Bridgeman and Geordie Logan for taking up the cuddles at the start of the show. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night, normal time, between 8 and 10, talking about tomorrow's match against Red Imps. Thanks for listening. We'll be joined tomorrow evening by the one and only Stato himself, Port Bear. Take it away, Old School Boy.
How many years ago, my boys, I left the Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land and here have settled down. Although I met the Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, but I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with sadness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can buck up California where the sun shines all the year. You can bum about your Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, and we only had the Rangers over here. Finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bum about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the